Plaintiff Dan CRUZ dated the defendant, and they moved in together within weeks of meeting. However, Dan claims the defendant soon started stalking his social media accounts and threatened to assault him. He's suing for the cost of a van and stolen tools. Defendant Noelle MAURE says she moved in with Dan because they were going to be working together, but they broke up because he talked down to her on the job sites and ended up cheating on her. She's countersuing for unpaid wages.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you, sir.
Okay, so I met Noelle, and then after knowing her for a couple weeks, I asked her if she wanted to come to Indianapolis and hang out with me. And
how'd you meet her?
Through a friend.
Okay, wasn't the internet?
No, a friend of mine was working for me, and he brought Noelle around with him.
Okay.
And so I met her like that. And then after knowing her for a couple weeks, I asked her if she wanted to come to Indianapolis and stay with me.
Live?
And hang out. Yeah.
Oh, hang out.
Hang out. I have an RV in Indianapolis.
Got it.
And we were in South Bend when we met. And so she wasn't working, and the house she was staying in was being sold. So I asked her if she wanted to come to Indy and hang out, and she said yes. So then she came down to Indianapolis with me, and then Corona season hit. So we were locked up in the RV for the next 4 months, which was fine. You know, she's an attractive girl. I was happy to have her there, you know. And so then after being there for 4 months or so.
You had just met the woman.
Just met her.
And you got along fine being around each other 24/7 for how many months? For like 6, 8 months?
For like a total of 6 months,
okay.
You know.
That's pretty interesting.
And so there was a good 5 months there.
Yeah, a lot of men during the COVID have gotten divorced, and women divorced them as well, of course, but, you know, kind of didn't know what it's like to be with their wives.
Well, I'm trying to get, yeah.
And when they found out, they said, this is not what I meant to buy.
Yeah.
So you try what?
I'm trying to get a divorce. I've been trying to get divorced for 3 years now, so.
And I'm surprised at myself, though, really. I'm proud of myself. I really enjoyed being my wife all these times.
There you go.
I really did. And so I'm proud of myself. All my friends and their buddies, I can't mention their names, and then they'll get in trouble. And it wasn't you, ma'am. It wasn't you. I better name the ones that it wasn't. But then if I leave the one alone, they'll know that their husband was complaining about being with them every day. But I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it. Most men, quite frankly, ladies, they don't want to be around their wife or their woman 24/7. Am I right or wrong? That's why I went there, because you all sound like you had something special. Perhaps in the beginning you do. Right. Yeah, at the beginning you do. But what am I, 40 years in?
Yeah.
And I still do, as you just said.
That's right.
That's romantic. Very charming.
Don't take a joke too far. I think I did bring some roses on one of those out. That was her birthday, though. Yeah. All right, so you all together that long, 24/7, locked into, and that was small quarters. And that might be a little difference. I was able to go to a couple of rooms.
Yeah.
Whatever I wanted.
Made it a little easier, I'm sure. But no, it was fine. Everything was good. And then all of a sudden, she started mixing our towels together, and, you know, saying that it didn't matter that our towels were mixed, and, you know, and then next thing you know, she's stalking my Facebook page and getting mad about me liking other people's posts and, you know, other girls' posts. And so she'd start waking up talking about throat punching me and slamming, throat punching me. Yeah, I can't even put it the way she said it, but that's mild. That's mild. Throat punch is mild. She has much more colorful words.
When did it flip? You all were 24/7 in the trailer home, lovey-dovey. When did it flip over and I'm gonna punch you in your throat? I'm gonna kill you. That'll kill you.
It flipped one day when she was chain smoking cigarettes, and I couldn't do the cigarettes. And we're driving a couple hours down the highway. And
So you almost got killed over a cigarette. Go
Yeah.
ahead, I'll let you
No, I'm
finish.
serious now. She was serious about them cigarettes. I mean, them cigarettes were probably about the most important thing to her. And I'm not a smoker. I don't do cigarettes. And so one day she got all ticked off about these cigarettes and woke me up for the second time at 3 a.m, slamming cabinets and cupboards. And
Saying what? I need some cigarettes. Where'd you put my cigarette? What saying what?
I think she was trying to make me mad because I was sleeping. So when you're slamming doors and cabinets and cupboards at 3 a.m, I don't know what's going on in your head.
Let me hear from you, ma'am. Tell me you give me some insight into the relationship up until the stage that he just spoke of.
It wasn't us hanging out. I was working for him. I painted trailers. He worked for trailer communities and would rehab the trailers. So after working for him for
First, you met him through a friend, worked for him.
and it was met him working for him, and worked for him for I believe the one in town was a week, and then I went down with the friend to Indianapolis and worked with him there for another week. Every day I was paid. At the end of the day, everything seemed good. I was painting and doing different things, learning different trades. He asked me if I would like to come to Indianapolis permanently and work with him going back and forth. That would work for me at the time. I said that'd be perfect. He had a place to stay, so it would be low cost and we'd be making money. So as it went on, we discussed, I don't know.
He taught you the tricks of the trade?
Yes, he taught me a lot. I can do quarter round. I can use a table saw. I can use a brand nailer.
You're thinking of another trade.
I'm thinking of another trade.
Right.
All right, ma'am. I'm sorry. Go ahead, move along.
It was good. I mean, he did get angry fast. He got upset. I've smoked cigarettes for many years before him. He knew I smoked. Tell him I smoked. I'm not gonna quit smoking today, maybe in the future, but you getting so upset makes me want to smoke another cigarette. But that's how he met me. So, I mean, we were together 5 months total.
And that was the only thing going wrong primarily?
That and money. I don't know. So there was some other things, the way he spoke to me, the way I was treated on a continual basis. I did not appreciate his cheating. I don't appreciate being cheated on, especially when we're together all the time and I'm putting in hard work. Yes, you're teaching me things, but I'm putting in a lot of hard work here, and we're supposed to be a team. If you want to cheat on me, that's end game for me, so.
Okay, and that's essentially why you all broke up.
Yeah, that and disrespect. Number one, cheating's disrespect. And
what type of disrespect? Describe it.
Well, when you cheat on somebody, that's the ultimate disrespect. Okay. But talking down to me at the jobs, oh, you're smoking cigarettes? I wish I could sit on my I won't use the word, and waste time all day and smoke cigarettes like you. But demeaning and in front of other workers.
Okay, demeaning things in front of in public.
Why haven't you why didn't you cook breakfast yet or started the flooring? I don't know, I didn't know what to do. Oh, because you want to sit around and smoke cigarettes all day.
He was big on no cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, but it was that or, I'm lazy or this or that. Like, I am the last person to be lazy. I am the first one to get up and help or do anything. I'm a very motivated individual, and I don't have time for that. So if he's so disrespectful, and every time he disrespected me, I would talk to him about it from the very beginning, because I'm too old. I'm 41 years old. I'm not going to be in an unhappy relationship. I'm not going to be disrespected. So.
That's right. That's right. All right, sir. Any of this you want to address before we get to the van that you're suing her about and the stolen tools? About the disrespect, the things she said negative about you.
Yeah, she says disrespect, but we
critical of her in public.
We would be packing up and leaving the city, and as we're packing up and leaving the city, she's sitting out on the porch smoking, and we're leaving. We're in the process of leaving. You know, so I don't understand, you know, how that works for her, but it doesn't work that way for me.
Yeah, I'm finished with you. No cigarettes. Come on with the van.
Okay, and
What are you talking about
so I blocked her on Facebook again, and when I blocked her on Facebook again, she came across the street after having been drinking with the neighbors, and I was working. She came across the street after drinking with the neighbors, and I didn't know she was over there drinking, but she came across the street. She realized I had blocked her on Facebook. She went in my camper, tore the whole thing up, called me all kinds of names at the job site in front of residents' home, and then after she tore up the camper, cussed me up and down. I went and hid because I didn't want any confrontation, right? And then she packed up, took my stuff, took her stuff, vandalized the camper, left, went to South Bend, and then took a bunch more of my stuff, and that's how we're at this piece of the van.
I like that about you. You say you run. I'm not run. You say you do what? Hid when she's coming looking for you.
I just went the other way.
I do the same thing. If I know I've gotten my wife upset or something, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, you know, I run.
She's calling me everything but Dan.
I just take
and
off
talking
running.
about throat punching me.
Because I don't want to say the wrong thing back.
Right.
So I just take off running. All right, so that's what you do. You hide.
I was hiding.
Okay.
She's talking about throat punching me. I don't need any part of that. And she even went as far as to call one of my customers and threaten my customers with lawsuits, trying to destroy my business. Because along the whole time she's hanging out with me, she's talking about starting up her own company, starting up her own business. I'm like, go
not
ahead.
being a partner with you, not asking if we can work together, or I'll start a business and we'll have that separate business, but we'll still work together on that separate business. Not that, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking.
All right, because that doesn't sound like a bad idea. She want her own. And however, if y'all working together, let's work together on my own business, and I'll work together with you on your business. Find a way to do it. But you're so controlling, you don't want the woman to have anything on her own. You want her to be totally dependent on you for all of her life sustenance.
I never asked her to I never told her to make breakfast. I would cook her breakfast consistently. So I don't know what.
Tell me about the van and the stolen tools. You were telling me what happened.
Okay, so
her destroying the camper.
She took the tools when she destroyed the camper, along with my blankets and towels and silverware and everything she could get her hands on. And then she went back to South Bend, went to my house, and when she went back to South Bend and went to my house, she took the title to this van, which was in South Bend because my daughter had paid for it for me. Okay, and so she took the title to this van. I came from Indianapolis back to South Bend. I called her. I'm at home. She shows up with the police with the title to my van in her name, and I had to unload my whole van of all my tools and of the tools I had left that she didn't take, and then left me without a vehicle. Yeah. And I got jobs in Indianapolis, and here I am stuck in South Bend.
And you haven't gotten it back. When you all have discussed these things, what has she told you? What has she said? She's going to pay you for them?
At first she said she wanted a couple grand, then she wanted $4,000, then she wanted $5,000, then she wanted $8,000. Then she took a 2016 Chevy CRUZ from me that I don't even have the paperwork for, that isn't even being dealt with yet. But she took multiple things. This van, though, is where we're at right now, and I'm trying to get this money out of her for the van.
Look at her, look like a church lady. They rip you blind. All right, go ahead. Let me hear from you, ma'am. The man said you ripped him blind, and you over there looking like you ready to serve communion. Go ahead.
So what he's forgetting to speak of is, number one, I was working for him all of this time, day, night, traveling back and forth.
Sounds like it ultimately he said that.
And so I am working a lot. I have no money to show for it. So I'm not stupid, and I'm not gonna work for free. I don't care how good looking you are or what, I'm not gonna work for free. So, I mean, we had conversations about that, and I needed consistently paid. So that's where the van comes into play. There's 3 vehicles, his Chevy CRUZ that he's so worried about. He titled, I have evidence in the evidence pack. Can I talk about that now or no?
Yeah, go ahead, because we're on the vehicle.
That is page 13. There's a copy of that title.
What about the tools?
The tools? I don't know what tools he's talking about.
What tools are you talking about again?
I had two
The ones she
DeWalt
took.
tools. I had two DeWalt tools, an impact drill and a regular drill.
Your Honor, she had 2 bags.
And both of those the impact and the regular drill, I did pawn because I had no money. When we broke up, I had $40 in my pocket. Mr. CRUZ refused to pay me any money. I did not take any items from his house. I did take the Chevy CRUZ, which is mine, as you can see on that page 13. It's titled in my name from the car lot. There's the bill of sale. It's a salvage title for the Chevy CRUZ.
You have a bill of sale also?
I do not.
say?
I think it's in. Hold on, let me look at the pages. I'm
Can I
sorry.
get a copy of that stuff?
I definitely need to see the bill of sale because people can get titles. A lot of times they get them for people who are ineligible for a title. Some states won't give you a title unless your driver's license is clean and you have whatever other requirements that the insurance companies have lobbied them to put
So on page
into
12
law.
and 13, 12 says retail order for a motor vehicle.
Where?
On page 12,
Okay.
and that shows the Chevy CRUZ that he's talking of.
Okay. And
So that was my car. He put those in my name because I was not getting paid. Any money that I was getting paid from Mr. CRUZ, I was putting back
so he
into
gave you this in
business.
exchange for payment? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
well, it was as an asset for me because I explained
If what?
an asset for me because I explained to him.
Yeah, but it was his asset because didn't you say he paid for it?
But he's putting them in my name because
but did
he
he
owed
pay
me.
for it?
Did I pay for
Did
it?
he pay for it?
He paid, well, the CRUZ, I can't really say what happened with
No,
that.
the car in question, all these things you just provided me.
He did
we were
pay for
talking
that,
about
yes.
that.
The van.
Uh-huh.
The van he did pay for, yes.
Okay, that's why you dodged that question so much.
No, I didn't understand
You started
what you're
talking about
saying.
that was a very easy question.
I thought
Did
you
he
were asking
pay
about
for it? Did he pay for the car in question?
He did.
Okay, and that presumes it's his, and presumes that perhaps he put it in someone's name, as often is the case,
Right.
because whatever his situation might be.
Can I say
he could be engaged in some type of fraud, owing somebody, getting garnished, or has a lien on him or something.
Yeah,
And
there's
you
both.
huh?
He's getting divorced.
Yeah, there you go.
And he also is being sued
There you go.
$80,000.
See?
So there was 3 vehicles put in my name. Not just 1, 3 vehicles. So
Your Honor, the only reason they were in her name is because she stole the titles.
She says it was put in her name as payment for work she did. What do you say? How did it get in her name?
When I bought the vehicle, it was during the Corona season and no BMVs were open, and I was out of town. My daughter picked up the title and finished the payment on the vehicle. I have the bill of sale on page 2, on exhibit number 2, where I purchased the vehicle. And then on exhibit number 3, I have a statement from the seller that I bought the vehicle from explaining that at the time of the sale, I did not sign the title.
All right, I want to know how it got in her name.
She stole it
From where?
from my bedroom closet.
Okay,
From my
ma'am,
bedroom.
how did it get in your name?
he gave the title to me.
As payment. That's what
correct.
you're saying. Okay, I was waiting on you to change that story. Anyone have any evidence? Communications to prove whose story is right. Hers sound believable, but so does yours. You have the burden of convincing me, sir, because you both sound believable. So you have to convince me, you, by way of evidence and or your testimony. She's going to have to prove the wages shortly. Tell me how you
Your
can
Honor, she
prove-
got mad when I blocked her on Facebook and she went to my house and stole the title out of my drawer because it was an open title. I have a statement on exhibit 3 from the person that I bought it from explaining that when they gave the title to me, they gave it to my daughter, it was left open.
I saw that.
Yeah, and so the way she got that title was because it was left open.
Did you get it from his daughter?
No,
she
I
got
did
it from my
not.
door-
I got it from him.
Yeah,
He
you
had
said
it.
that, but that's not what the seller says, ma'am.
Right.
All right, and I got you, ma'am. Let's get to your unpaid wages, because on the one hand, you're saying you took the car for unpaid wages,
Correct.
and now you want $5,000 more. What is that for?
He owes me, I have let me see.
First, let's go over the amount, what that represents with the car? How much money in salary does that represent?
The van that we're talking
Yes,
about, the
ma'am.
Chevy Express?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the Chevy Express is $2,000 is
All
what
right,
he's suing me for.
and that is $2,000 worth of wages. What time period?
I have a list of my jobs on page 5 through 6. It was April 1st.
I need to know what represents the $2,000 first. You're suing for a total of $5,000 in wages, and you've already received $2,000 in wages. So that means you've performed $7,000 worth of work.
Right, there's
can you
a
show me
total
that?
of $6,380.
Where?
On page 5 and 6.
Okay, I see it. 5-star
have-
sheets, new car.
Each one of these are our jobs. And so the total amount paid, it shows like Countryside Mobile Home Park. That was the park we did. And then there's a whole trailer paint. He got paid $2,000. We had agreed I get paid $10 an hour and a percent.
Ma'am, let me tell you what I see that adds up to that, because what you're saying is not clear to me. 5-star sheets,
Correct.
new car allowed. That's $5,000.
Correct.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
We
5-star sheets.
did
What is
work
that?
for 5-star sheets. That's the company's name.
Uh-huh.
So
You
those
did
are-
work for them
Yes. Well, I did work for his
as
company.
a sub.
Yes.
His company had the contract?
Correct.
And you did the work?
Correct.
As a subcontractor to his company?
He was paying me cash.
All right.
Really.
And that's $5,000 he never paid you?
No, $5,000 is the total he got paid. I was to get paid a percentage of the jobs. So 10% of each job is my payment, which is in the very last column where it has the percent.
Asphalt, sir, that seems like the biggest. Did you pay her or first of all, you laid the asphalt? Is that what you did?
Yeah, we
All
got
right.
asphalt out
Did
of
you
a truck.
pay her?
I paid her cash daily because she.
How much did you pay for the asphalt, if you can recall?
It was daily. It was. I don't recall. It was a daily. She would get daily money or get bills paid.
She is giving me a list. And how much have you paid her at one time since you paid her
Well,
daily?
she didn't do that job. She was only.
Okay.
She brought us lunch.
Why didn't you say that instead of telling me that you paid her daily? Now you switched it over to she didn't do the
She
job
didn't
at
do
all.
that job. The only time that I would give her money was when she was doing work, and so a lot of times she wasn't working; she was just hanging out, and
So she did nothing to the asphalt?
Correct.
All right. And ma'am, you have to prove that. That burden is yours.
Right.
$800. What is this? Windsong MHC?
Mobile home.
It costs $8,000.
Windsong Mobile Home Community, where, I'm sorry, you're saying 8,000?
Yes, that's the total amount
Oh,
that
I
you
see. So that was
performed
a whole total trailer rehab.
Uh-huh.
They did the walls, the ceiling.
All right,
the floor.
sir, do you recall that?
She helped me do some quarter round on that project, and she was there for a half a day.
All right.
And I paid her that day.
Okay, so these totals, I thought they were from your company. They're all a
I do not
percentage
have a
of his
company.
company.
I
Okay,
do not have a
I thought it
company.
was as a subcontractor.
No.
Whether you have a company or not, you don't have to have a company to be a subcontractor.
He did not have me
Somebody
sign-
has the contract, and you say, "I'll do the work for you if you give me this amount." That wasn't the deal.
It was to get a percentage
No.
of each job.
Okay, what
But
was
there
the
no-
agreement?
There was no agreement.
All right, no agreement, then I can't enforce anything. Both your claims are dismissed. Have a good day. No agreements, no enforcement. Nothing to enforce. Bye-bye.
You can quit calling me. You're suing me. Don't call me. Okay?